Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Larkin, one half of the Steve and Mike Show. As y'all know, www.steveandmikeshow.com is up and running, and we are back today. It's the ICW Fear and Loathing post show, and I'm joined as always by the chef. Chef, how you doing this morning?
Anytime we talk ICW, I'm in a beautiful freaking mood, brother.
My friend, what a show ICW Fear and Loathing is. We're going to talk about all that in this show, but we do have some news that we're going to get into. Chef, are you ready to start it off?
Absolutely.
Well, first and foremost, we're going to start with what you wanted to talk about, because a lot of crap was thrown ICW's way because of the attendance of the show, even though the show was very lit, and it was very fire from the fans, and very passionate. There were some talks about the attendance being low.
You know, and to be honest with you, it wasn't like it was the years before. And that, I will say that. Watching the show, listening to the show, it was just as loud as if it was sold out. I'm not making excuses because attendance was low. It's not a secret. Everybody wants to throw it out there on social media. We run in a circle with, I don't want to call nobody names, but they like to try to throw a certain company on ICW, and they're having, listen, their TV deal is coming up, and they don't even know if they got one. These are the same people that are talking shit about ICW. But even with their attendance lower, has more attendance than they did for their biggest show of the year, and that company bringing James Ellsworth as their oh my god character. I'm not saying who, but you already know who I'm talking about. So yes, attendance was low, but the show itself was amazing. The crowd activity was amazing. It was loud. It was great. Everybody got pops and boos. Much love to the ICW fans. I still say you guys are the greatest fans of the industry. But next year, you guys got to step it up and bring your asses out and support the cause.
And I think that's also very true. And you know what I'm saying? With the whole ICW, with what we have, and we're also going to equate some NXT UK and all that into this as well, because, man, we just had Killian Dane, who I mentioned last time, a now SmackDown talent, coming home to ICW wrestling Mikey Whiplash. You're going to probably see more influx. That's the thing with people with Triple H, because a lot of these people think that, WWE's trying to shut down ICW in progress. No. I think Triple H, half of the talent that he gets with the NXT and NXT UK, half of the talent is the great British talent. And I think Triple H has a great relationship with Mark Dallas. He has a great relationship with the owner of Progress. I wouldn't be shocked if we see it in the next year or two that they try to put some ICW in progress on the WWE network, because I know Triple H has a great relationship with both owners.
Absolutely. It's funny because these are the same people that want to pick and choose how to crap on these dirt sheets, but when the dirt sheets say something against something they don't like, they're telling the truth. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But as soon as they crap on their favorite promotion, you can't take them, they're not credible, they're horrible. You can't pick and choose. And first off, Triple H, once again, I keep trying to tell people he's not Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is the one everybody says, well, he shut down all these other wrestling companies to make his. Fine. Yeah, he did. If you want to claim that he did, go ahead. I'm not Vince McMahon. I don't know Uncle Vince. So I can't claim what he did, how he did it, who he paid off, who he did not pay off. I don't know. What I can tell you is if Triple H was trying to shut shit down everywhere, it would have already happened. Because Evolve, who everybody wants to call a feeder, their champions are an NXT tag team. Mm-hmm. Evolve is Evolve. It's not bought out by WWE. They're partners. Triple H understands the value of partnerships. Therefore, he stopped in, did his thing, and I know you remember when he came to ICW with Pete Dunne. Mm-hmm. He's marketing, and he's getting a pop and a, hey, look, I'm here. I believe in this. Which we also seen Paul Heyman show Mark Dallas so much love. And you can, go on YouTube, check it out. Give you goosebumps. He has an amazing partnership. WWE is not buying these companies out. You guys can hate all you want, but ICW still, their biggest show of the year, had more asses in it than the one with the TV deal. Just saying.
And what's interesting about it is, too, and I will say this, with the whole Evolve thing, I mean, like you mentioned, Street Profits who are the Evolve Tag Champs, and Fabian Eichner, who is now also part of NXT UK, is their champion. The thing with Evolve is you got a guy like Gabe Sapolsky, who has been in ECW. He's worked with ECW, the original ECW, and he was a big integral part with the booking as far as Ring of Honor goes. And yes, he's a consultant for WWE, but these guys are scouting talents. Velveteen Dream has worked with Evolve. Adam Cole, Bate, and all these people go to either the UK and Evolve and do these things like right before they came in. So nobody's shutting down nobody. It's a farm system, no doubt. It's like another developmental for those guys. But I mean, it's still good. And I think the problem is, like, obviously we're coming off the thing with the LAX situation, and I mean, it's tough. It really is. And I think what's unfortunate about that is you had an opportunity to showcase those guys. And I mean, you could say what you want about wins and losses, but I think LAX being a part of that show, I mean, that would have been great, but we know what happened there. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I could just say it is what it is.
Absolutely. And you know what the thing is? As an independent, I think that your job as an independent promoter is to put on the best show you can. To get the best talents you can afford, stay in your budget, and give you the best product you can to your fans. And to be honest with you, if I can have an LAX, a Street Profits, Velveteen Dream come in and wrestle one of my guys who's trying to be on their level, not only does it make your talent look better, but it showcases your promotion. This is why indie promotions bring in a certain guy with a stature, to get their talent over and also to promote their show. For you to sit back and just, we feel LAX can't wrestle these guys because we're butthurt. That's what happens. That's what literally happens. Because Evolve, it's a partner to WWE, but it's not WWE. And I'm not trying to stay on this while we're trying to talk about ICW, but that's the fact of the matter is Evolve is its own entity. It's its own thing. You know what I mean?
I agree. And like I said, I understand it to an extent of why they did it, but I'm just like, man, and I think Santana even said himself, in a perfect world, this would happen. I think those guys were really looking forward to stepping in the ring with those guys. I mean, you had A.R. Fox in that match as well, who's a very talented individual. We see him on Lucha Underground as Dante Fox. And you had Darby Allin, who's wrestled Velveteen Dream there, another great talent. So, I mean, I think it's great from talent overall, and gets to get to fill each other out, wrestle each other, and have a great dynamic. I understand it, but I'll be honest with you, I don't like it. And I think that's the last part I think I'll say about that.
Absolutely agree.
Oh, boy. Now we get to the British side of things, because we're going to talk about the event. We're going to dissect it. But I have to say this to you, because it came out. We got to talk about Justin Sysum, and I think you know where I'm going with this, Chef.
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. So, Justin Sysum, for those who don't know, he's a World of Sport wrestler. He wrestled on the MediaCon show for Impact Wrestling, which also featured Sami Callihan and Jimmy Havoc, LAX against Fleisch and Storm, and etc., etc. Lana Austin got in there against Sue Young. But Mr. Justin Sysum had to put an open letter to British Wrestling, and I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's long, but we'll get to the gist of what it was about. He wrote, "These words are entirely my own and do not represent any promotion or individual other than myself." He said last week it came to light, though, that through independent UK promotions who have been left uncertain of the future, that WWE NXT UK talent have apparently been signed to new contracts, allegedly preventing many of them from wrestling for any promotion outside of the WWE banner from the start of 2019. Talent may honor their bookings until the end of the year, but are seemingly being prevented from wrestling people who are currently contracted to New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact, ROH, World of Sport, and other major promotions. You could read more about this and the potential impact it will have on many wrestling, news websites. And pretty much he said WWE have a history of trying and succeeding to conquer small promotions. Many believe that the NXT UK talent brand was only, reignited this year once they caught wind of wrestling returning to British television. And within the weeks of the TV tapings being announced, I personally fear for a future where WWE has succeeded in its mission as a conquest destroyed most of its thriving domestic scene. So when I read that, I understand, I guess he wants the British wrestling scene to succeed without WWE NXT UK, but I ask you, Justin, if WWE came knocking at your door, you would say no. Really?
Listen, we both know that if WWE anything called this guy, knocked on his door, sent them a letter, hit him up via email, and said, "Hey, homie, you want to get down with us? Do you want to sign a contract with us and wrestle for us? You know he's not saying no.
And even if you say no, you don't think that that guy who will go somewhere else will not end up there down the line, I guess, to hone his craft somewhere else and just rather be whatever promotion, whatever independent scene, like I mentioned, the UK world of sport. You don't think that that guy who down the line is going to say, hey, I want to go here? You really don't think he's going to turn down that offer, really?
And the crazy part is the UK has been a hotbed for talent for years already. This isn't something new. This shit has been hot for a minute. So they've been succeeding already. Progress has been succeeding. ICW has been succeeding. Destiny has been succeeding. And the list goes on. EPW. I could keep naming shit. They're doing their thing out there. They are all growing. Now, everybody can't work for NXT. It's impossible. And to be honest with you, I don't know what 2019 is going to hold. Listen, I'm not a part of the WWE, and I'm not an owner of any of those independents over there. So I can't say what's going on, and to think that you do is absolutely ridiculous. For this guy to say what he said, there's two things I look at it as. One of them I look at it as a positive, because right now, everybody knows his name. For good or bad, or for however you feel, you're saying this dude's name. And that's what you do with social media. You do something, you say something to get yourself more relevant. And you know what? Everybody's talking for him, for good or bad. In this industry of wrestling, attention is attention. And they'll always tell you, doesn't matter if it's good attention or bad attention, as long as your name is ringing bells, you're still relevant.
I will say this as well. I mean, Joe Hendry and Grado, technically speaking, Impact Wrestling, they were on ICW. Pete Dunne, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate, WWE NXT UK, they were on ICW. Again, Killian Dane, SmackDown Talent, was on ICW, and I'm sure it'll continue to grow. But here's the thing. This wrestler, like a lot of fans, is pretty much believing all the dirt sheets, quote unquote, and it's just like, dude, are you really going to believe a dirt sheet over all this? Really? Because that's what he's doing. He's talking about the dirt sheets too. I'm like, are we really going to believe dirt sheets now? You're going to let that like dwindle and just carry on? How do you know? The dirt sheets know, because the dirt sheets don't lie, as you know, Chef. The internet is not a liar. The internet is not a liar,
No.
Chef.
No. Listen,
Okay.
If someone tweets it, it's facts.
Oh, of course. Yes.
I don't know what we're thinking. You know what? Maybe we're two idiots. Maybe us thinking that people might tweet some dumb shit. And people might write shit just for clicks and views. Because we think like that, with the whole clickbait thing and everything, maybe there's something wrong with me and you.
Of course. That's where I was going to go to. We're on the same wavelength with that.
Okay. My fault. You know what? Let me apologize, because I do cut you off at times.
Hey, you're fine.
Maybe we shouldn't think alike, because that might be the problem.
Yeah. I mean, but it is what it is. But now, Pete Dunne, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate, British Strong Style, had some response for Mr. Sysom. Are you ready for what they had to say?
Oh, my God. You know what? As a matter of fact, we talked real quick, and I was like, I can't wait for you to say this, so I am ready for you to say what the homies had to say.
So Tyler Bate just pretty much said, we worked hard for what we do. And I mean, I think it's kind of sad that you're going to believe, rumors and hearsay when you really don't know what's going on. So that was Tyler Bate. He kind of put it in like a lightweight, but then you get to Pete Dunne. And then you get to Trent Seven. Pete Dunne wrote, "Every step myself and other members of the NXT UK roster have taken within WWE over the past 2 years has been nothing but a benefit to the independent scene. Don't disregard that because of hearsay and rumors." So pretty much similar to what Tyler Bates said. And then Justin Sysom wrote back to these gentlemen, "You guys are included in the part about the great British wrestlers who came before me. You're a credit to the independent scene, but unfortunately, it seems you're not a part of it anymore. This is much more about the organization, not the individuals. Thanks, reading." Then Trent Severin goes in, and he writes, "Hang your head in shame, Justin. We've all worked incredibly hard over the past few years to create a thriving scene for all lovers of talent to perform on. Delete your tweet and stop attention seeking." And Justin Sysom writes back, "I stand by my words. Hopefully you gave it your full attention and read the whole thing. You are to thank for the great heights we have reached. I'm making a point that I want to go even further without WWE." And pretty much Justin Sysom had got, a mixed bag of praise. And then he got a mixed bag of has NXT US killed the US Indies? No, NXT UK affects the guys contracted there. And just people have been going back and saying, I kind of agree with Trent Severin. I kind of agree with, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. It's a mixed bag thing, man. But I mean, What do you think about what the homies had to say about Justin Sisel?
You know what? I appreciate the fact that they're standing up for all the blood, sweat, and tears that they've had trying to get to where they're at. I don't care if this is how they feel. And this is when we were talking last time, and we were talking with an Impact fan, the homie Jorge. I had sent him the video of Killian Dane and him coming home, and you see the response, and you see his face, and you can see by his emotion. He was home. When people come home and they talk about ICW the way they do, yes, he's a WWE product, but he's also an ICW guy through and through. And he lets people know this is my home. These guys don't forget where they're from, but they're trying to get where they want to go. Everyone knows, listen, I'm not a WWE fan. Matter of fact, the only fan I really am, besides of something I'm trying to do, which would be another show, is ICW. I love ICW. I think ICW is an amazing promotion. I do like other wrestling promotions. That's not what I'm saying. But I love their vision. And you feel that they're doing it the right way. These guys have fought to get to where they are. And believe it or not, representing the UK, not just coming to America for NXT. They're building something in their home country now. And it's going to be off the backs of the Trent Seven, the Pete Dunnes, and all these other guys as well. Because they're the beginning of what's starting up. The independents like Progress and ICW, they're going to keep bringing people and building stars. That's what an independent does. And if ICW or Progress becomes ROH or an Impact Wrestling, and they're still partnered, but they get their TV deals, you're looking at an amazing thing going forward. Instead of sitting there promoting these guys, he's trying to sandbag these guys. And I mean, to be honest with you, it's what they said. And it's like I said, too. All you're trying to do is get your name relevant, taking shots. And the people that feel a certain way towards WWE, most of them are just WWE haters that are just going to side with anybody versus WWE anyway.
And I think, like we mentioned last time, and I'll mention this, man, that NXT Blackpool that we got, the UK, the first ever one that they're doing, that Triple H is behind, I think is going to be excellent. I mean, I even said this. You got Walter coming in NXT UK. Walter's one of the hottest free agents in the UK scene, and Walter is probably going to be a very dominant force in that division. So, I mean, if people want to go to NXT UK, let them do it. Justin Sisel, I see where he comes from, but I'm just like, dude, you just, like you mentioned, you just want to get your name out there, and you want to say this, and you want to say that, but you don't understand the big picture here, and like I said, you got your name across. I mean, the only thing, like I said, I know you from is MediaCon and World of Sport. I mean, I hate to say this, and I don't mean to discredit the guy, because I'm sure he's a very talented athlete, but when you say Pete Dunne, when you say Trent Seven and Tyler Bate, you know who they are. You think of Justin Sisel, you think, who? And I don't mean to be like that, but
unfortunately, not to be an asshole.
Yeah.
But I asked you, who is this guy? When you first sent me this, and remember, I don't watch a lot of American. And listen, I'm a New York, Florida guy. 35 years I did in New York, 4 years I've done over here in Florida. I don't watch American wrestling really. I watch NXT because I like it. Not hardcore. I don't watch every week as soon as it comes out. The only thing I watch hardcore is ICW, and I do pay attention to Progress and other promotions out there because I love the style of wrestling. I've never heard of this guy. When you showed me, I was like, who is this guy? And when you were like, oh, well, he did the thing with Impact. Well, I don't watch Impact no more. So when you said that, I was like, well, I don't know who this guy is. Like, why does he – okay, he's looking for attention, and he actually got some. You got your 30 seconds of fame, and I hope you're a damn good talent because you know what? If you're that good, eventually people could look past this and say, oh, well, he made a mistake. He was just, sensitive or whatever it might be. But look at his work. Look at his match here. And you could get past this. But if you're a run-of-the-mill kind of guy, dude, all you did was just kind of set yourself backwards instead of going forwards. You know what I mean?
I agree. And like I said, the guy's a talented competitor. He is. It's just like this open letter. Again, don't when you take to the dirt sheets and you listen to what they have to say and you think like, oh, when these dirt sheets say, oh, they're shutting down. No, they're not shutting down. There's a plan in fruition. Just enjoy it for what it is. And I think British wrestling overall is great. But if you can't just, I mean, he's not trying to discredit NXT UK, but in a way you kind of are because, I mean, that's just, you guys have had the hottest talents right now. You have a lot of ICW in progress. I mentioned Nigel McGuinness. You look at the commentary and the presentation from that end. They bring up ICW in progress where these guys and gals, came from, and they mention those feuds in history in there. So if you don't think that there's a plan there, I mean, you're out of your mind.
Absolutely. I mean, you're 100% right.
It's just, Justin Sysom. I shake my head. I get where he's coming from, but it's just like, dude, you got your attention. But just be happy you got your attention. That's all I'm going to say. Now we get to the show, ICW Fear and Loathing. From top to bottom, this show was just solid action after solid action after solid action. We're not really going to be like, because it's going to get repetitive if we just keep saying great match, but we'll dissect it and we'll talk about the opponents. Well, first and foremost, Joe Hendry gets the win over Mikey Whiplash. What were your thoughts on Joe Hendry and Mikey Whiplash? I mean, those two killed it, and Joe Hendry getting the W.
Yeah, I mean, I like Hendry. I always like Hendry. The prestigious one. Dig the guy. It's, we've said this already. Great match. I wanted Whiplash to go over. He didn't, but great action. I mean, to be honest with you, Joe Hendry just keeps growing. Like, the more you see Hendry, the more you see, he's just more and more polished. You know what I mean? With Mikey Whiplash, if you've seen Mikey Whiplash 5 years ago to now, he's still the same great athlete, the same great talent, the same badass dude. You know what you're getting from Mikey Whiplash. You're getting a hardcore legend. You're getting serious in-ring work dude, great mic skills. I wanted him to win just because I'm more of a Mikey Whiplash fan, but, Hendry went over. I'm cool with it.
And I think I was also cool with, like you mentioned, Joe Hendry going over. Aaron Echo and Kenny Williams also stole it. And I think Aaron Echo getting the win, I'll be honest with you, I was pulling for Kenny Williams, but Aaron Echo was another guy that really showcased his talents.
I'm 0 for 2 already.
Me too.
And, I'm 0 for 2 because I was like, Kenny Williams, no question. And once again, the cool thing is, with Kenny Williams being on 205, he's going to be in the NXT UK. A lot of people who I talk to were like, oh, all these NXT UK 205, this is that, they're all going to beat all your ICW guys. They are ICW guys, you fucking clowns. It's like, but it's kind of cool if you look at it because it showed against that. It was like, well, just because you're a part of this doesn't mean you're going to win. You know what I mean? I enjoyed the show. That match I really enjoyed. I was like, okay, this is a great match. I enjoyed the whole thing. I went for Kenny Williams. Like I said, I'm 0 for 2 already. I'm not looking too good. But to be honest with you, with the way these matches went, I'd rather be 0 for 2 and have a great showing than 2-0 and have matches.
I also have to say this. I just need to go back to attendance for a second because I totally forgot that this had to be preview. Shout out to my boy Michael Cook. Now, Michael Cook has done a lot of Max Wrestling shows with us in the past. Cook's a good dude. He was actually at this event. He could even tell you that he, from top to bottom, had a great time at this event. He traveled about an hour and a half to get to ICW Fear and Loathing. He goes to a lot of UK indie events, and he goes to a lot of ICW shows. So, Michael Cook, I just had to give you a shout out on the show, buddy.
Yo, Michael Cook, much love, baby. See, that's a real fan. You know what? You get my respect just like that. Brownie points to the homie Michael Cook.
And also, I would have to say, because when I was reading reports about this coming in, another gentleman, Marco Piva, was there, and he was talking about attendance. And you know how many people he said were around there at the event?
How many?
About 2,500 people. 2,500.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. So you can talk about attendance, but still, that's a lot of people.
When you do the math, hey, and I don't want to throw another company on the bus, but go ahead and look at your numbers versus these numbers, and you'll see that 2,500 looks like a lot.
That's all I'm saying. So, all right. So Joe Hendry and Aaron Echo. Actually, you know what? I'm actually 1 for 1, and actually looking back, because I picked Joe Hendry, and I said Kenny Williams and Aaron Echo, which I'm fine with. Like I said, every match. When you have a card that you have a lot of star power from the UK and all that, you're bringing this together, you really don't care. You just, like we mentioned last time, you just appreciate the action for what it is. So we were off to a good start with these matches. But what I have to say, I was shocked because I went with British Strong Style, but the ICW Originals, Wolfgang, BT Gunn, and Noam Dar, they got the W.
You know what? And it sucks because I just had a brain fart. Did I pick them or did I pick British Strong Style?
I think I picked British Strong Style, and I think we both picked the British Strong Style on that one.
Holy shit. So I'm a whopping 0 for 3 right now. Woo. So I'm going to tell you now, I enjoyed this match start to finish. I mean, listen, you have amazing chemistry with all of these guys here. And the whole match looked like they've wrestled each other every day of the year for the last 10 years. You know, it felt so refreshing to see. Because, you know, sometimes when you have a large number of people in a ring, it kind of gets all over the place. And I love this match. Once again, I don't mind being 0 for 3. You know what? I kind of do mind being 0 for 3. You know what, next? Because I'm a loser right now.
You're kind of like Beck, to make a pop culture reference. You're a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me?
Yeah, for real. Like, that's what it is.
So, well, I gotta say this. Like, after watching these guys and the history that they have there, and just to see NXT UK, what I like about that is that also equates to here. Because look at the guys in the match. Pete Dunne, for instance, had a great match with Noam in NXT UK for the UK Championship. That was great. You also equate... Well, look at Wolfgang right here, Chef. Wolfgang and the Coffeys are feuding right now with British Strong Style. So, I mean, that's another great element there. And, I mean, they're going to bring in the tag titles very soon for NXT UK, which we crowned NXT UK Women's Champion Rhea Ripley. And we're going to have the inaugural NXT UK tag titles being decided at NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool. Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate against the grizzled young veterans Zach Gibson and James Drake. So, I mean... We got NXT UK tag titles coming, Chef.
Yo, I mean, it keeps showing you the elevation. You know why I love it so much? It's more because we've been saying this for so long, and I know it sounds mad repetitive. I know it sounds like we're fucking copy and pasting the same shit. But myself and you, for a while, and I'm talking a hot minute, have been talking about how great the UK scene is. And with WWE having such a large fan base, having WWE NXT UK on the network, you're now going to be able to see people you might not have seen because you might have just been, say you're just a WWE guy. You know, you might not have understood, you know, across the pond and what they're doing. Now you have an opportunity to see these guys. And what we've known, now a larger fan base has an opportunity to see. So I'm excited for this.
And I think what's also great about it is, too, and we'll equate Justin Sison back into there because World of Sport is doing their thing, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, all around UK is doing their thing, but in regards to this, you get a lot of great talents that you never seen. Like, one of the best guys right there, right now in NXT UK is the Bomber Dave Mastiff, who is also very big in these companies. You get to see guys like, who we're going to mention coming up very soon, Ashton Smith was on this show. There's just so many talents that's great. But, I mean, yeah, and then you look at what we had with the ICW Originals against British Strong Style. These, like I said, these guys don't miss a beat. You're going to get great action one way or the other. There's a reason why Tyler Bate and Trent Seven were former NXT Tag Champs. There's a reason why Pete Dunne is probably one of the longest champions in WWE history right now at the UK scene. And, I mean, and he's still going on and on. We got him and Joe Coffey at NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool. I mean, again, this just really showcased all parties involved.
Absolutely.
Then we get to... All right. Well, Liam Thompson and Kid Fite had a Falls Count Anywhere match to regain ownership of the Sync, which was very decent, and Liam Thompson getting the victory. What do you think about this?
You know what? I'm not that big of a fan of either gentleman.
Okay.
Not, you know, I don't mind their work. You know, I'll never just try to fast forward or nothing like that. I'm not one of those kind of people. I do appreciate their hard work, but to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm that kind of asshole that's like, wow, you had a match for a fucking Sync. You know, like, I don't know. I get it. I understand the whole process and what was going on. It was it was all right. It was the one, I don't want to say blemish, but I have to say blemish because it was the one black eye to me because everything was so great. You looked at this and you're like, it was all right. You know, and since it wasn't like everything else or not even close, it was like, this was meh. So I really don't got anything real positive to say besides, you know, I appreciate your hard work and what you guys do every day. But to be honest, it was an okay fight.
I thought it was fine, but it was one of those matches that kind of felt like, it was just there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
So, what we also forgot to mention, Hendry and Mikey Whiplash. So, Leighton Buzzard comes out, Evil comes out, Kez Evans comes out, Kieran Kelly, Ravy Davey, and he's a part of Mark Dallas's faction, man, the boss.
Yo, I totally I don't know why we didn't. I totally forgot about that. Dude, it's weird because you've never really seen Mark Dallas make a group like that. The only time he does when people were trying to go against ICW, kind of like when Bram and Drew Galloway, what was their name? Oh man, they had like a group. It was with like Red Lightning versus it was a team Lightning or team whatever.
Yeah, Team Root. Team Root of Team Lightning. Yep.
Yeah, versus ICW. You don't really see him make groups. You know what I mean? So for him to actually do this, it was actually like a wow moment because I was like, oh shit, Mark Dallas is forming his own faction over here. What the fuck is going on?
And I thought it was cool. And again, another one. I think anytime you get to see Mark Dallas on the show, just proves why he's the great businessman and the great owner that he is.
Oh, for sure.
Now, okay, we got to talk about this tag title match. So, the Kinky Party, Jack Jester and Shaw Samuels, beat the homie, Easton Rees and Bram, to retain the titles. But we did have a cash-in, because we'll go back to that match. But the P.O.D, Rampage Brown and Ashton Smith defeated the Kinky Party. We have new ICW tag champ, Chef.
You know what? And here goes my Homer hater self is going to happen right here. Somehow in ICW, Bram has been alluded to winning a championship belt of any kind. And it kind of frustrates the shit out of me because he's so talented, loves ICW. How the fuck do you know that he loves ICW? Mind your business. But if you have to ask, you have no idea. So I know the man loves ICW. And I'm a big Jack Jester guy. Love Jack Jester. If Easton Rees and Bram weren't going to go over and win, I was hoping, they would keep the titles and, next show. Nope, not what happened. These guys cash in. My man Bram is jumping off of shit, slamming people and doing all these crazy things, looking amazing. Jack Jester's doing his dizzle. Shaw Samuels is killing it. Easton Rees is doing his dizzle. And my guys lose. Fine. It's okay. They can lose. It's what happens. It's wrestling. Shit happens. And then these guys cash in and then beat the other homies. So I had two losers in the same match. Matter of fact, I haven't won shit yet. I'm like, for the century. Matter of fact, let me apologize to all the talents that I've picked to win because all I did was curse you with nothing but failure. Yeah, I mean, shit. I like Rampage. He's cool. We've seen him on British Boot Camp and shit like that. We know his work. I think the whole transition, they did it really clean. It wasn't like it was just a boom, 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 done. So I loved the entire match. And then I did enjoy, Rampage them winning it because it's a statement that, you do see people cash in and then, they lose and you're like, all right, that was pointless. But this was a really well designed, match and with Rampage going over at the end.
And I will say this, I'm killing you right now in these predictions. I just got to say that. Well, I took an L and a win on this because I said the Kinky Party, but I wasn't expecting that to happen. So I took a dub and I took an L on that, and all on the same thing. But I will say this: British Boot Camp. I think, like you mentioned, we were talking about British wrestling scene. That was another one that helped because there were a lot of great talents that came from there, like Rockstar Spud, who's now Drake Maverick, the Blossom Twins, and just a lot of great talents. Marty Skrull is another one. But I like how you also added British Boot Camp in there just now. But I have to actually say this to you because this kind of equates to British wrestling. So, as you know, the homie Spud, Drake Maverick, is now managing the AOP on Raw. And I told you, and I think you were shocked, because Drake Maverick's first one-on-one match on Raw was with Bobby Roode.
Yes, I see. Well, I didn't see it. I heard, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. You were like, yeah, no shit. So I made it a point to go on YouTube, find a match, and I was like, holy shit. My man Rockstar Spud, a.k.a. Drake Maverick, is doing his thing in SmackDown. Like, what's going on here?
So him and the AOP on Raw, what's great about it is
Raw, my fault, not SmackDown.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So they did the thing, and I mean, I know a lot of people didn't like it, and I can see with you. So they had the AOP attack Chad Gable, and then Baron Corbin puts him in the match. So you get the AOP and Drake Maverick against Rude and Gable in a 3-on-2 handicap match. So what happens is Authors of Pain, do the beatdown on Bobby Roode and Drake Maverick, who got killed by a glorious DDT by Bobby Roode, which just shows, again, like, I guess the Weasley-ness of him just being a heel, because it's so funny watching him on 205 Live as the babyface GM, and on Raw, he's this heel, and he's got his boys, as his heaters and his backup there. So he gets his ass whipped in being the Weasley heel that he is, which shows, again, being the Weasley heel, and the story behind it, he gets the victory over Bobby Roode. So Drake Maverick's first ever win of the WWE is over Bobby Roode, which, again, both former Impact alumni, which is kind of funny.
Well, you also got to understand that 205 and Raw
are different,
different
absolutely,
universes.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's funny.
You could be a face here and a heel here because it's two different universes.
I know, and that I think I think the dynamic of it is kind of funny because you watch him on 205. Good,
but it shows you how talented he is to be able to do both.
Absolutely. I think he was always the great underdog babyface, and he could be the great chicken shit heel. I think that's what's great about him as his own character and a persona.
Love it.
Yeah, dude. So, all right, now back to ICW. We got other stuff here. Where do you want to go? Okay, well, I mentioned the tag match. The P.O.D, Rampage Brown, and Ashton Smith defeated Jimmy Havoc and Mark Haskins, who was my pick, but I got that wrong. So I'll take an L on that one as well. The Purge, Krobar, and Stevie James, Fite Network, Luke King Sharp and Krieger, the Kings of Catch, Lewis Girvan and Aspen Faith, the Briscoes. Okay, this match was insane. Like I mentioned, the TLC matches that have had with the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. I mean, 3 teams with 6 guys. These are friggin' 6 teams, and they just friggin' were insane, and just go out of your way to watch this match and watch everything on this card. I have to say this, Chef, and I know you can agree, what an ICW debut for Mark and Jay Briscoe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even though, once again, I took an L on this one.
Yes.
There's a pattern going on here.
It is.
It's... to be honest with you, I knew they were going to get a pop. I knew people were going to love it. But holy shit, if you look at this, wasn't like you going to another show and you just, you perform half-assed. These guys went all out. This was mayhem. Listen, if you want to look up the word carnage, that's what this match was. From start to finish, you had a bazillion amount of guys just going ham out there. You know what I mean? Like they were just going bucky. And everybody looked great. There wasn't a weak link. There were no kinks in the armor in this match. Every single person that was in this match told a story. And you were like, holy shit. Like everybody was showcased to a T. I love this match. I was super enjoying it.
And I think what's great about it is, too, like the Briscoes, there's no as far as the UK goes, there are no strangers to it because Ring of Honor did, a show in the UK, which, by the way, Joe Hendry was on and he fought Adam Page. But I also like to add, it was a great show with the UK. So, they're no strangers to it, but I think to get them showcased and, like I mentioned, like a prominent one in ICW, they don't disappoint because they're one of those tag teams, like, they are who they are. They're like, they grew up in Delaware. The chicken farm, they got their own chicken farm, and they are who they are. That's what's great about them. They're the Briscoes. They're not afraid to tell you, I'm Jay, I'm Mark, I'm here to come for you. And I think that's what I love about them, their overall rawness.
Who did you pick for the winner?
I lost because I picked Mark Haskins and Jimmy Havoc.
Okay, that's right. So listen, I'm not trying to one up because I haven't won shit yet. I'm just trying to make sure I can try to catch up somewhere.
I just want to say, so the theme of this post show, guys and gals listening, Chef can't predict shit when it comes to British wrestling. I'm only kidding.
If I pick something, you pick the other one.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to the next one because we're actually down to the 4. This one we both.
Wait! Before you say anything,
Good.
Can we leave the main event for what I call to steal the show?
Yes, we can again.
Okay,
that's fine.
Okay.
By the way, I planned on doing that anyway.
All right, cool.
That's, as I said, that's the great thing with us, the chemistry, and we both know which the actual main event was. All right, we both picked them, and you swayed me with this one. The Cowboy, James Storm, and Grado with Jeff Jarrett as the ref. Jeff Jarrett doing the turn because Grado accidentally with the low blow. The guitar shot heard around the world. James Storm and Grado had a hell of a match, and Jeff Jarrett with the turn. Now, go ahead.
Okay. What I thought was going to happen did not happen, but it happens. So I know it sounds like, what the fuck is he talking about? Don't worry what I'm talking about. I did call that Jeff Jarrett was going to smash Grado with the guitar.
Yes, you did say that.
Listen, Jeff Jarrett, if he's in your arena, in your ring, and he's got a guitar, someone's getting hit. I'm telling you now. So this is a really good match. It wasn't as good as I thought. I enjoyed it, no doubt. I thought it would be a little better. I super enjoyed it once again, though.
I did
to see Grado get hit with a guitar by Jeff Jarrett was kind of fucking. Even though I called it, it still was kind of like, oh shit, because they are close. This isn't a gimmick for a wrestling show. That's what people don't understand. Those dudes real talk, like what they're telling you is what it is. They're super close. Even if it's just in wrestling and he smashed him with a guitar and listen, Grado's not dead. You know, the guitar didn't kill him or hurt him. Still, the symbolism of him hitting someone he looks at like family to me was like, oh shit, he did just hit him. You know, kind of, I even forgot about the match for a second because I was like, oh snap, like he did hit him. And then I thought, oh, I called that shit. Like, I can't wait to talk about this. No, but I really enjoyed it. Listen, I'm a big James Storm guy. He's the homie. Love James Storm. Love Grado. They performed. They put on a show for the crowd. This was just from, once again, start to finish, great match. I wanted a little more, but that was my selfishness because I know. But, like, this was really freaking good.
El Kabong, man, Jeff Jarrett with that guitar shot, which he's solidified and signified with. I thought it was great storytelling from top to bottom. And I gotta say something about James Storm because he's celebrating a little bit of a 14-year anniversary here, Chef. And do you know why?
No, I do not.
One of the greatest tag team cage matches turns 14 years old. AMW, him and Chris Harris against Triple X, Christopher Daniels and Primetime Billy Skipper.
Oh, I forgot about that. That match is nuts.
Yep. So congratulations to you, sir, because that is probably one of the best matches in Impact's history, probably one of the best matches overall as far as tag team cage matches goes. He solidified himself in history in that front.
It's the Cowboy James Mother effing Storm, baby.
Yeah, buddy. Also, I'd like to say, because he's our homie and we love Jorge, who was at the Titans game? That's all I got to say.
Ooh, shots fired.
That's all I got to say. Oh, we love you, Jorge. All right, go to the next match. Joe Coffey and Mark Coffey. Joe Coffey is now as I friggin' called it, I don't even know where I got the zero G from, the 06.
The 06.
It's my dyslexia coming in. I don't know where 0G came from, but whatever. Anyway, I'm making up my own belts. Joe Coffey beat his brother. Great matchup. We've seen these two against each other and tag team, and they're a part of them and Wolfgang are a great tag team and great faction in NXT UK right now. Great heels. Joe Coffey getting the win, beating Mark. What'd you think of the match?
It's my second win now because I called, James Storm. Thank God I got one. And the Iron King getting the win. First off, I really wanted Joe to go over because I just think he's such a – it sucks for me to say I think he's so much better than his brother because, Mark Coffey is talented. I'm not taking nothing away from him. It's just Joe Coffey is on a different level. You know what I mean? It's like it's night and day kind of thing, even though they're both really good. Great match. You felt this vibe. You understand that these guys have wrestled each other, and it showed. You know what I mean? Let's face it. If one person should be holding the 06, like you like to call a championship belt,
yes,
it's got to be no other than the Iron King.
And I think, like I said, he proves himself. I'm a big Joe Coffey guy, and I think we predicted with NXT UK coming up, him and Pete Dunne, I'm looking forward to that match. Can you imagine if the Iron King becomes the NXT UK champion?
Oh, my God. You know what? to be honest, it's kind of scary in a way because you know that Pete Dunne has held that belt for a long time, so it's only a matter of time before he does wind up dropping it. Who better than Joe Coffey to take that off of him?
I mean, I think I know where they're going. Like I mentioned, Walter, and there's more matches he could have rematches wise, but I think I would be okay if Joe Coffey won it because, again, he's a great heel in how he's established in ICW and NXT UK respectively. So, I mean, I would totally be for it. I would. I really would because it's so good, man. It's so good. So, speaking of so good, Lionheart is the new ICW World's Heavyweight Champion, beating Just Justice Jackie Polo, or as I like to call him, the UK Boss Hog.
It kills me every time you say that shit.
It's fucking true, man. I mean, come on.
You know what? I'm not even going to call him freaking Jackie Polo. From now on, he's freaking...
Boss Hog, the UK Boss Hog.
UK Boss Hog.
Yes. So Lionheart was the champion. His career was on the line. Lionheart gets the W. Congratulations to Lionheart. It was a very highly contested matchup.
Yo, you know what's weird is... For some reason, when we first talked about it, I was like, yeah, there's no question. There's no way Lionheart's going to lose. I mean, I did pick Lionheart, but I was like, no way he's going to lose. Watching that match midway, my entire thought process changed, and I was like, oh, shit, is he going to fucking retire, or is he really finished? Because, Jackie Polo was doing his thing for a minute, and I was like, oh, shit, like... a little nervous here because I like Lionheart. I like the fans. They call him, they say Lionheart's a fan. I think this shit is hilarious. But I was like, oh my God, this was the one match that I, as a wrestling fan for so many years, I couldn't see what was going forward. It really felt like maybe he was going to get retired. I don't know. I don't know if it was just me, but I was like, oh my God, Lionheart better not get retired. And like I said on the last show, I was getting really frustrated thinking he might. So, sitting here watching, I'm like, oh, what the fuck what are they doing right now? Like, if Mark Dowds has this guy get retired, I'm going to have, yo, Mark, what the fuck are you doing? What a match, though. This is a special one. This is one of the ones that when you have a big pay-per-view, people sit back and say, remember that match on the biggest show of the year? That's definitely going to come up. I really believe that match was that good.
It was, and I think it really encaptured the moment, and congratulations to Lionheart. And I will say this, because this also comes around to British wrestling. And I know wrestling fans, when you watch Raw and SmackDown in the main roster, you're just sitting there like, ugh. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm right there with you. We cover it every week on Max. But when you watch NXT and NXT UK, again, different with the way it's booked, but your sanity comes back just because the pure wrestling on both shows, and especially with NXT UK. That's all I got to say about that. So if
wrestling again,
it is. It's wrestling.
It's not just a soap opera. It's actually wrestling.
That's why I'm saying. So if you guys are not checking out NXT and NXT UK and you complain about the main roster, just watch the NXTs. That's all I got to say about that. And you'll be in heaven. If you want pure wrestling, you will be in heaven. That's all I'm going to say about that. And it equates to what we're talking to. So I figured that deserves a mention. I know you can agree with me on that, Chef.
You already know I'm going to agree with you. No question.
And all right. So we are at that match. The Queen of Insanity, Kaylee Ray, is the new Women's World's Champion. Whew. I'm going to let you start on this one because, whew.
Okay. Waited for this one for a while. I could not wait for this one. This was my match of matches. This is the one that this is what Chef wanted to watch. Watching the intensity of these two women go through the entire match through Kaylee Ray pulling out the little pouch and having her fucking thumbtacks to fucking Viper bringing out a garbage can full of I don't even want to say a number. Just think of an astronomical number that makes no sense. Think of something funny and that's the number that's going into my head. She dumps it out. I mean, the entire match back and forth was absolutely amazing. The chair spots were crazy. The ironing board was crazy. I mean, it was mayhem to the move off the top to the table to then Kaylee Ray putting a barbed wire in her mouth and tapping her out was like, holy shit. And the whole time I'm sitting there with my family watching this match like this is the greatest shit I've ever seen. Even though I'm not going to say it's the greatest thing I've ever seen, but I'm going to put this in my top 10 all-time favorite wrestling matches just because I love this match that much. Watching these people go to war the way they did, and then the King of Insanity comes out to greet his new queen, because let's face it, that's his shorty in real life. He comes out. I don't know what he tells her. You know, you could just see he's probably saying, damn, baby, that was a crazy match. Like, congratulations, da-da-da-da-da, doing the good boyfriend thing. You know what I mean? But then she goes down and she hugs Viper. And to me, the hug solidified that match and made it more special than I think the match did, because it was two women who put everything on the line. And these women have been to wars against each other for years. But there was never nothing I've seen women do like this. And to show the respect that they showed each other, dude, I'm going to tell you honestly, we called this the match of the night. I'm going to tell you, it's definitely in the top 5 right now, matches of 2018. And if you want to disagree, you're a fucking liar or a hater.
I have to say, just the ending with the barbed wire and her blood on her arm and just the whole 9. These girls really went to war. And like you mentioned, Stevie Boy coming out afterwards and the hug and the embrace, because these girls knew that they just did something special. They really did. And I think that's really what that encaptured right there.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the one thing that, and my wife's not a huge wrestling fan. She likes wrestling. Even she was like, wow, like that made that a whole lot cooler. I was like, absolutely, because they know what they just accomplished. Now, this puts every woman on notice. If you want this spot, come and get it, because you got to get down like this. And I'm telling you now, if I was a lady in the industry, I don't know if I'm ready to ever want to be a Queen of Insanity because of what they just did. And that shit, to me, it speaks volumes because of what they just produced. Because if you're in the next one, you gotta one up this, or else you'll be known as the person that was like, yeah, I don't know why they were trying to be that. You know what I mean?
I absolutely agree. And, you know, it's just great watching what they did. And like I mentioned, a lot of girls are going to have to top this now. And I know NXT UK has Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm for the NXT Women's Championship at the Blackpool show. Rhea Ripley is another one that's a great heel. Toni Storm. There's so many great women out there, but I think, again, these ladies really set the bar as far as UK women go.
They're my favorites.
They did.
Hey, I've been saying this forever. I still say right now the 2 best female wrestlers in the entire world is Kaylee Ray and Viper, and it's going to stay like that until somebody proves me wrong. And you know what? That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to like it. You could like whoever you like. This is the beauty of wrestling, is you could like whatever promotion. You could like whatever talents. It's what you like. It's not what I like or what somebody tells you is cool. It's your own opinion.
I got to tell you guys a little something about Chef here. Knowing you, because of our friendship with Kaylee Ray and Viper, and just knowing the love for you, I got to tell you something about this, man. You were ecstatic when Kaylee Ray and Viper wrestled on that ROH tour when they did that show. Because when I first told you that Kaylee Ray and Viper were going to be wrestling on that show, you were ecstatic. But do you also remember why you were a little upset about Kaylee Ray from one of our previous conversations? Do you remember that?
I do not. I'm going to blame it on being a dad and a husband.
Okay, so when the Mae Young Classic first came around and Viper wrestled as Piper Niven in the first one, she went very far in the tournament. She had a lot of great matches in there and she shined. But unfortunately, Kaylee Ray was one of the early ones eliminated in that tournament.
That's right. I was sour as shit. I remember hating on it.
And I laugh because knowing you, and I know how much you love Kaylee Ray, you were such a, like, what the fuck, man, why are they doing this? I'm like, I don't know, I didn't book it, Chef, calm down, but she had a good showing.
I literally was acting like if you were involved. I was like, yo, what do you mean she's eliminated? Like, what are you, fucking crazy? Like, why is she eliminated? I was really, like, I don't know why I felt the way I did, and I don't know why I blamed you. Like, I was like, yo, what do you mean? Like if you sat back with fucking Hunter and was like, listen, we got to make sure Kaylee Ray loses early because I got to fuck with my boy. And he was like, yeah, let's do that. You know, I don't know why I felt like that, but, you know, I was so, like, bummed. I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, because you thought I pulled, like, the ultimate rib on you. Like, I was ribbing you. I'm like, Chef, I'm not on the booking committee. I didn't...
I don't got no say in this.
I got no say in this. I mean, knowing Kaylee Ray, I was happy to... You know what it is, too? Like, because I knew a lot of the girls that were in these Mae Young Classics, and when the first one came around, I was very happy to see Kaylee Ray get the shine. So even though she took the L, she got an opportunity. I think she really made the most of it. I think that's really what it comes down to, though. And I know you can all be sour, man. You thought she should have won, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to put a little positive on that.
No doubt, no doubt.
So I had to mess with you a little bit at the end there, just because I still remember that conversation about Chef B, and you were so mad, and you were blaming me like I was the one that flipped her to lose. I forgot who even she was wrestling, and it was a good match, but you were blaming me because I was the one that made her lose.
Yeah, you were the one who rained on my parade. You were the guy who was like, "Well, she lost," and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
Fuck! What the hell? Oh boy, but yeah, so that was ICW Fear and Loathing, folks, and I mean we got a lot of great stuff coming. I know you're looking forward to NXT UK Takeover Blackpool, the first ever one for NXT UK. And as of right now, I'll do a little spoiler alert because I did mention Pete Dunne and Joe Coffey for the United Kingdom title. We got Mustache Mountains, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate versus the Grizzled Young Veterans and Zach Gibson, James Drake. That will determine the inaugural NXT UK Tag Champs. We got Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm for the NXT UK Women's Championship, and we got Eddie Dennis versus the Bomber Dave Mastiff and a no disqualification match. So, Chef, 4 matches right now that have a lot of great symbolism, great storytelling in them for those who've checked out NXT UK. And I think 4 matches that are going to really put on the UK scene and put them on the map and just show why UK wrestling is the shit and why NXT UK is on the rise, my friend.
You know what's going to be fun, and I hope it happens, and then we can go off from this. But I really want to see some kind of takeover where half the card for the UK goes against half the card for the American side, like an NXT UK versus an NXT. I think that would be crazy and a great way to get both over.
Chef, I think you said put me on the booking team. Put you on the booking team because that is a superb idea. That is a superb idea. I love it. I think that's something that's development for the future. And I have to say something else with British wrestling. I have to say a little congratulations to former ICW superstars, sir. We got to congratulate Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, sir.
Oh, I forgot about that. Absolutely. You know, and here's the cool part is I know she's Zelina Vega, and, I'll call her Thea Trinidad.
Yep.
She's from, like, borderline Jackson Heights, Woodside, Queens. I know the area. I'm a Queens dude, so I'm a big fan of her because she's from home. I love Tommy Yen's. Everyone might know him as Aleister Black. Congratulations. I didn't even know there were a couple.
Me either. I'll be honest, I didn't know. Well, first and foremost, I got to mention this because we can both laugh at ourselves. I made you a liar because Brian Cage and Melissa Santos just got engaged. And personally, I thought they were married, but they're not. Now, I'll take the L on that one because I was wrong. See, I can admit when I am wrong, so I'll take the L on that one. So, congratulations to Brian Cage and Melissa Santos, and congratulations to Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, because on that note, like you, I didn't even know they were a couple. So when I saw you post that, I'm like, oh shit, good for them. Good for them. Now, I'm going to say it because it's you and I. You think it's kind of an upgrade from her former boo?
Oh, the vanilla midget, of course. How do you...
Yes,
Dude, come on.
I know.
Come on. Right now, if you're looking at what Aleister Black means in the industry versus, listen, what everybody wants to call a work, I've never been a fan of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what the difference between careers are right now to what it is. One, he no-selled. Everyone's like, oh, it's a work. He's on the next show. Still not on the next show. He was supposed to do an ROH and go to ROH and then go versus Impact. Well, that still hasn't happened yet either. You know what no one has said about him? Nothing. What ever since he did the no-show and just walked out of Bound for Glory has he done?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You haven't seen him? You haven't heard from him?
And no one even talks about him.
I'll tell you someone who we are going to be talking about. And it actually goes back to Aleister Black. And do you know why? Because of the main event of NXT TakeOver Phoenix on the U.S. side, the night before the Royal Rumble, I might add, we got Aleister Black getting his rematch as he goes head-to-head with Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship.
I hope he rips that little dude's head off.
That's another thing. You got serious beef with Tommaso Ciampa.
What's funny? People swear, like, because I live in Florida. I know the
Yes.
NXT crowd.
Yeah.
They think I don't like this guy because he's a great heel. No, I never liked him in Evolve neither. I never thought he was talented. I've never been a fan of this guy. And I dislike him even more that people are so high on him. It's not me saying, oh, he's a great heel. I hate this guy. No. He just bores the hell out of me. He's like NXT's version of Eddie Edwards. And to be honest with you, Eddie Edwards, I've met the man super, and I always have to say, because people get all butthurt, one of the nicest guys you can meet in the industry, hands down. I'll always say that. But he bores me. Talented, but he's just not a wrestler that I could follow. You know what I mean? Like, and that doesn't mean he sucks, or that doesn't mean he's the greatest ever. It just means for me, I'm not a fan of his work.
I will say
this guy,
less
a fan of this guy's work.
Okay.
When he wrestled, it's like, yo, I'm gonna go take a shit. Text me when he's done. Like, is anybody hungry? I'll go get some hot dogs or something. Like anything to get away from watching this guy perform is what I do.
So here's the thing I'll say with Tommaso Ciampa. I remember first getting introduced to Tommaso Ciampa because him and Jay Lethal actually had a very good feud in Ring of Honor. I'm going to say this right now. I'm very honest with what I say. If you want to see some good action with Tommaso Ciampa, just watch the Jay Lethal series that he had in Ring of Honor. Great stuff. Johnny Gargano and him. Now, Johnny Gargano was a heel, and him and Aleister Black just had a great match at the last TakeOver. They're going to have a steel cage match coming up on NXT. I don't know if they're going to do a heel DIY with Gargano and Ciampa, but we shall see where that goes for the future. But yeah, having Aleister Black in the mix, I think the three of them have a great dynamic with one another. And Aleister Black, Tommy End, is a great athlete all in his own right. ICW, and I was very happy. I remember seeing him on the first NXT UK tournament that they did. He actually wrestled Neville. This is before he actually got into NXT. And him and Neville had a great match in front of the UK crowd. So I've always enjoyed Aleister Black's work. So I think that'll be a great main event for that show. I just got to say that. So, and that's another one that's missing. Chef Neville is another one, and it sucks with what happened with him because of who they put the title on after him. How you doing? Well, are you really doing good, sir? I will say, because you just drew 35 people at your rap show. And I mean, that's just facts and that's just real talk. I mean, when you have to do a head count to see who's at your show, I mean, it's pretty bad. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, you know what it is, too. He puts himself into bad positions. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a shame because I think that now in ring, I don't think he's a great wrestler. I don't think he's great. I think he's a good talker. I think that if you would have paired him up with somebody, and said, hey, you be the mouthpiece for this guy, I think he would have worked really well. But to have him as your champ and act all goofy the way he was, I think it just, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand his process. I don't understand how I don't know. I'm not a big Enzo guy. It's obviously not hard to see, but he just seems to he keep putting himself in hot water. And it's like, dude, I get it. You want your name to be said. You went over and tried to take over, like, I think it was Raw when he was in the crowd.
Survivor Series, yeah. He tried Raw, but he tried Raw, but friggin' the Staples Center put a thing. If you see this guy and it's a picture of him, do not let him in the building.
Dude, to me, that's fucking hilarious. Like, if I was him, I would try to make a meme of it or something. But to be honest with you, he's getting negative. And I know I said before, negatively or whatever. At this point of his career, he had a serious charge against him, and it did get dropped. But when you have such a serious negative charge against you, negativity is going to hurt you. Because then it's, oh, look what he is again. You know what I mean? Like, he needs to start doing something in a positive way because of how serious the charge was against him.
Now, speaking of serious charge, I will say this. Him and James Ellsworth, which, by the way, James Ellsworth, that's all I'm going to say. James Ellsworth. A certain crowd in New York was not happy with that James Ellsworth. That's all I'm going to say. But I also like to say, with the James Ellsworth thing, that really that made me mad. That really made me mad. The Enzo thing made me mad. And what the problem is, yes, I get it. Like, you like him as a promo guy, but that dude cannot wrestle. I've seen him wrestle. He sucks. Big Cass, I don't even know what the hell happened to Big Cass. I think he gained some weight and he looks like crap. And it's so funny to see because Carmella, who was the last one standing of that crew, because if you look at the NXT history and where they got to the roster, they brought Enzo and Cass up early. Then later on down the line, about a year afterward, they brought Carmella. And Carmella, I'm not going to lie, she was the shits. But she has gotten better. And I like to see her in the mix. She's now a babyface. She transferred from being the heel to the babyface, and she's having a lot of fun stuff with R-Truth. And I gotta say, isn't it funny, Chef? Where I'm going with this point is that Enzo and Cass, who they built, and Enzo singles, Cass singles, tag team, respectively. Carmella is the last one standing of those three.
Yeah, and like you said, she's grown so much that you could see she's having fun. It's not a serious role. It's a playful role. It's the whole, old school R-Truth dancing around, hip-hop, having fun. But she has grown in ring as well. Like, she's getting better. She's developing herself. You know what I mean? Like, she's growing on her own, and she's actually, becoming more of a thing than these guys getting pushed as hard as they could by the company.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's as far as pro wrestling goes, and we'll leave it on this note, it's just going to keep getting better and better, and it's just going to evolve, no pun intended, with the UK scene and just in general. I think wrestling, it's just great to see, and if the Bucks and Jericho and all of them have this company coming out with JR and all this stuff, I think that adds a lot of element to it. I think next year, if we get another All In, I think that's going to add more to it because this year's was so successful. I think just pro wrestling just has that thing to strive and just again to evolve and get better. And then you look at New Japan, what they're doing, just all around. I mean, I think just wrestling is kind of in a good place.
Yeah. I think in the last few years it was struggling, and I think now you're seeing a resurgence of it, and it's refreshing. Because we're fans. We're fans first than anything else. We just want to see I just want to see good wrestling. I know you follow suit with that. We're not promotion fan, we're wrestling fans. We just want to see good matches. Talents have a great time, put great shows on. Whatever banner it's under, I don't give a fuck what banner it's under. Give me a good match and I'll support it.
Yeah, and just support pro wrestling, folks. And next week, I believe there's another pay-per-view. There's TLC, which is highlighted by Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. A lot of matches on that show. Your boy, I got to mention this because your boy's on it. Elias is going one-on-one with Bobby Lashley.
Love Elias. Yo, to me, he's the future of WWE. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of great matches on there, and I mean, the booking may be piss poor, but I think the pay-per-view is going to be very solid as far as the in-ring wise go. And I mean, then you got January, which I mentioned, and we can repeat this again. We got Wrestle Kingdom coming, highlighted by Kenny Omega and Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Okada versus the Switchblade himself, Mr. Jay White. We got NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool. We got NXT TakeOver Phoenix. We got the Royal Rumble, and we got Impact Homecoming. So go ahead, Chef. You could say your line again.
4 out of 5, I'm watching. Last one, I am not.
Okay. And yeah, I think that'll wrap up this fun show. And Chef, any promotions, any plugs you wanna do, or you want me to save, and I'll promote my shit.
Nope, just promote your shit until we're ready to do that promoting later on.
Okay, fair enough. Check out the Impact Bodega Pod on Twitter. Jorge does his thing. Check out Robert at Wrestling Robert. Just check out the Bodega, man. Check out myself, StephenMikeShow.com. Check out Stephen Mike Show and S&M Network shows on Facebook and SoundCloud's MC Larkin 92. It's all on the website, StephenMikeShow.com. Very easy and accessible at your fingertips, the baby. So, I mean, it's been a fun show, man. ICW Fear and Loathing post show and a Chef. I can't wait to do some more with you. We got some more shows. Okay, I'll tell you right now. I'll get you on my show. You want to talk some NXT UK? When TakeOver Blackpool comes, Chef, we're going to predict some TakeOver Blackpool. How about that?
Definitely. You already know I'm down for that.
Okay, so you'll be hearing some more from myself and Chef. And Chef, as always, it's a pleasure. For Chef, this is Mike Larkin, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace. 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 Peace.